Hi, welcome back to another episode of Regain Your Core. Today I want to talk about handling a breakup with grace. I know some of you may have some thoughts about this subject, but I created this video for us to really empower those of us who want to be able to handle a breakup with grace. We know that breakups can be painful, they can be difficult, they can be challenging to overcome. But even amidst the pain, we can still learn to handle a breakup with grace. And grace is not necessarily excusing a person's, wrongs or behaviors that weren't correct. It's really about handling it with courtesy, with respect. And really, I think it's important because I've learned that really how I choose to handle a breakup says more about me than it does about the other person, whether or not they did something wrong or not. And I want to learn, and I've learned to handle a breakup with grace, not because I'm required or expected to, because of the other person. I do it for me because it helps me stay in alignment with how God wants me to behave, but it also cultivates inner peace within me. It also cultivates joy within me because I can be at peace knowing that I handled potentially a difficult situation in the best way possible, that I handled it with dignity, that I handled it with respect and compassion as needed. And so I just want to share, for those of us who may be interested in learning, how we can handle a breakup with grace. And the first step to that is really knowing our motives for sharing. Usually when a breakup has happened, at least for women, our first instinct is to call our best friends and say, girl, and we just may chew the person out. Because naturally we're hurt. And naturally we want somebody to understand our hurt. And so it's a natural response. But I've learned from me that it's really important to be able to take a step back and to process how I feel. And that before I even go speak to someone else, get connected with how I'm feeling. Get to a place where I know what's happening inside of me before I go share that with someone else. But also in sharing, it's good to share, because through sharing or telling others, we get perspective, we get advice, we get good advice. I get good advice sometimes from my friends about, situations and how to deal with them. So getting advice and sharing is really good. But I think it's really important that we assess our motives for sharing. Are we sharing to really vent, to release hurt, to release pain, or are we sharing to cause harm to that person's reputation? Are we sharing to cause harm, to spread rumors about that person, or to have others see them in a negative light? We can handle a breakup with grace by really knowing and assessing our motives to share. And if our motives are not to cause are not for our healing, for our benefit, then that's really a sign to us that we may check, is that worthy of me sharing or not? The second thing we can do is to really be wise in who we share with. Now, I don't know if you've ever done this, but there's some people where even if I know I'm in the wrong, I will call a certain person to tell them a certain situation because I know they're going to agree with me. And I know I'm not the only one that does that. So I think when it comes to this, we really have to be wise in who we share with. And when we're choosing to share our pain, not everyone can handle, and not everyone is worthy of our vulnerability. Not everyone is worthy of knowing or being able to share with us our deepest pain. We should be wise, because sometimes, and even us, we give and we can receive advice from a broken place, from a bitter place, from an angry place. And so when we're deciding who we're going to share with, it's really important that we share with people who have wisdom, who have insight, people who are impartial. And so the third thing really that we can do is that we can still share the truth in love and with respect. We can still say the person betrayed me. We can still say I feel that they were wrong. We can still say what happened to us without really calling the person name or wishing them bad things or harboring ill feelings towards them. We can still speak the truth about our pain and about really our hurt in love and with respect. And I believe when we are wise with who we share with, when we can speak the truth with love and respect, when we can really know and assess our motives for sharing, what that does, it harnesses inner peace with us. Because we can be able to walk away and feel within ourselves that yes, this may have been a difficult situation. Yes, this was painful, but I handled it with grace. And I think one of the misconceptions that we have is handling a situation with grace somehow minimize it or takes away or invalidates our pain and our experience, and it doesn't. What I've described is not invalidating our experience. It's being able to really empowering us to still experience what we feel in a way that will harness inner peace within ourselves and harness joy and not harness bitterness and not harness anger. It doesn't mean that we won't be angry at first. It doesn't mean that we won't be perhaps bitter, but we won't harness it. We won't cultivate it and give it room to grow. And so really, I just wanted to share these keys with you. These are keys that I've learned. And I've purposed in my heart that, and I've learned to be able to handle disconnections and even, breakups or ending of things with grace. And again, it's more for me than for the other person. But I've learned that even in doing so, we can minister to the other person. That may not be our focus when we're going through it, but really in the end, we can minister to someone else. We can show someone else that this is how you can really treat someone even when things don't end well, or even though things didn't end the way we planned, or even though we're hurt. We can minister to someone that way. And so I'm really curious and interested to hear your thoughts. I really want to hear your questions and your comments on this. And again, this video may not be for everyone. This was really more so of a video just to share my personal experience, but also just to empower those who desire to handle breakups with grace. So let me know what you think, and until the next video, I will talk to you again. Take care.